One of the things that I've learned the most is how our democracy functions. You know, it takes a lot of effort to get your voice heard past the money. So, you know, it really takes a lot of organization. But, you know, I've learned that people have really a lot of passion for social justice and for the right thing. And that's one thing that's given me hope throughout the campaign.
I'd like to know a little bit more about Measure D.
So Measure D is a initiative that's on the ballot this November, on November 6th. And the measure does is say that increasing the minimum wage from $8 to $10.
We're actually implementing real social policies. So we're not just learning about the issue, but we're actually going out and deciding and organizing how and what exactly we want to implement. So we are asking students to sign our petition. When we have laptops asking students to support in their demands. We are also gathering personal stories of students who are and have faced any sort of housing and food insecurity.
First demand is to establish 12 beds here at the university for the homeless students that require a bed.
100,000 jobs! And when do we want it? Now! What do we want? 100,000 jobs!
And what we decided to do after reflecting was create something called the Gulf Coast Civic Works Project.
The idea is simple: create 100,000 jobs for local residents to rebuild their homes and local communities while being paid a living wage.
While some students on high school and college campuses, through the classes they take, get the opportunity to volunteer with organizations dealing with social issues facing their communities and the larger society, very few learn how to implement policies which try to get at the root causes of these problems. At San Jose State University, in the heart of Silicon Valley in California, one class is different.
The students in my class have been inspired by FDR's idea for an economic bill of rights. Now, Franklin Roosevelt put this idea out in 1944 that the country needed an economic bill of rights in order to obtain life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. One is the right to a good job. Two is the right to a living wage. A third one is the right to a good education. A fourth is the right to health care.
In 2011, Scott Myers-Lipton's social action class began a drive to increase the minimum wage in San Jose. As the 2012 presidential election approached, they qualified the demand as Measure D on the November ballot.
Hi! Would you like to know more about Measure D?
Yeah.
It's about raising minimum wage here in San Jose.
Yeah.
Cards, so saying what the facts are about raising the minimum wage here in San Jose. We have commitment cards, which has you could do phone banking with us. We can also go canvassing, telling people about how minimum wage would be better for beneficial for residents. We have voter reg. Are you a voter?
Yeah.
Okay, you're registered? Okay.
Maybe if I could take a flyer, just,
Absolutely.
you know, and I could encourage people to...
Would you like a sticker?
Sure, yeah, I'll support you guys.
People are starting to see that this is actually something that could be possible. They're getting excited about it, and they're seeing that we're actually going to stick with this and we're going to go through the distance. We're getting a lot of people that are like, what can we do? Everyone wants to be a part of something that is actually going to work. People always think democracy doesn't work. We don't know what to do. Voting doesn't and my vote doesn't count. But now they're seeing like these students are serious, and they obviously know how to get things on a ballot.
I'm doing this because as a single parent myself, I feel that it's hard to live beyond my basic necessities. So I can't afford rent, I can't afford PG&E, I can't put enough money in my gas tank to make sure I get to my son. So this raising the minimum wage has been personal to me. It impacted my life and made me realize that I can be about the change in my community, that I can encourage and be empowered to support my community and myself and my son to have a better opportunity in Silicon Valley and be able to be self-sufficient.
Put you guys on my Instagram so my friends can see to vote for this, because I'm sure no one
I can put it on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah.
What's an outreach strategy?
To get people involved.
What you doing to get people involved?
Scott Myers-Lipton's social action class drew its first prominent notice in 2007 when students, reacting to the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans and elsewhere along the Gulf Coast, attempted to develop a nationwide college student coalition to demand 100,000 Civic Works jobs to help address reconstruction efforts. Class time is spent refining tactics and addressing challenges.
You need to be totally clear in your mind what are you asking for. Petitions, go to the website, letter writing campaign, make a donation, help us with the summit. Do you know someone else that needs to be involved? What are your contacts politically? Do you have any political contacts? Because we're trying to get these non-binding resolutions passed. Do you know any politicians?
With the 2008 presidential election race shaping up, one strategy they use is to contact the campaign offices of prospective presidential candidates to see if they would take a stand on the issue.
So I've been following my candidate and trying to get his schedule so that we can dispatch some other college students across the country to ask the questions about the Gulf Coast Civics Works project. So far I've had some good telephone calls with my candidate's office.
It always has to be the students driving it. It can't be the professor coming in, having an idea and saying, look, this is what we're going to do. It has to come for the students, because otherwise then it's like I've got a political ideology that I'm trying to get you all to follow. But I think if it's driven by the students and it's driven around this idea of they're trying to make the community better,